चैम्बर ऑफ कॉमर्स एंड इंडस्ट्री के सदर मलिक इस्रार अहमद अमान से स्ट्रेलियन हाई कमिश्नर मिस मार्गरेट एडमसन चैम्बर में मुलाकात कर रही हैं।
Was selected that Multan would be actually the beneficiary of this new approach to addressing the scourge of gender-based violence, which indeed is a global problem. We certainly have many issues also in Australia to do with gender-based violence. So it was actually, I think, quite a celebration of a new approach that the Punjab government has taken to do that. So actually this afternoon I'll have the pleasure of going along and visiting the centre, because it is now up and running and functional, and I understand it's been such a success that the government of Punjab is replicating such centres around other parts of Punjab, and of course it does create yet another reason that Punjab is for Pakistan as a whole such a trendsetter of a province. And I'm very conscious that on the economic level, on the level of course of population overall, but on the economic level, and that of course quickly extends into the agricultural sector and also the livestock sector. In Australia we actually combine these. We call agriculture the whole livestock, dairy, veterinary, all of that links into what we call agriculture. And I'm very, very conscious of just how important Punjab looms as very much the breadbasket of Pakistan, but also, as Mr. President, you have very rightly said, it's very much an important centre for all of those other industrial activities. It's very much a hub of intellectual activity, and of course all of the integrated challenges that management of water on a sustainable way, the storage of water, the husbanding of that water, the careful use of that water, particularly when you have a nation which is under pressure in terms of available water, and that is partly to do with, of course, the population growth of the country, which is, of course, a very dramatic element as well. I did just want to briefly mention that the relationships that I've been speaking about are not our bilateral relationship, that is, in terms of our interconnectivity with this part of the world, not by any means just on a development partnership. Mr. President, you've mentioned Australia a number of times, and indeed that is why I wanted to come to your chamber again, because it's very much, in my view, the future of the relationship is that it is going to be in a commercial partnership, not a development partnership driven relationship. And we are happy to see it's nowhere near, you're quite right, it's nowhere near where it should be. But we actually do, because as I was saying before of the importance of the services sector in our economy, we actually factor services in to our bilateral trade statistics. And at this point in time, on our reckoning, our trade statistics with Pakistan sit at about 1.7 billion. So, but that's taking services into account. That's taking that education and tourism into account. But we do that because it, after all, is a very important element in the Australian economy, and indeed in this relationship. But what it does do is underline that our trading relationship is not in balance. And so yes, there is a need to look for ways to lift Pakistan's share and to see a much higher level anyway bilaterally in that trade and investment relationship. So last night I met after the function with our alumni, and after also meeting with some of the young entrepreneurs and representatives from the chamber in Faisalabad. I also had a meeting quite late last night, I must admit, with a number of wholesale importers of lentils, chickpeas, lentils, pulses. And I was told that Faisalabad is a very, very major hub of the wholesale business and then further distribution. The reason I'm mentioning that is because apparently in your list of what Pakistan imports from Australia, I didn't notice this one, but currently it's something like 400 million Australian dollars just in lentils is coming into Pakistan. That can be a bit seasonal, but the expectation is that it'll continue to be quite an important market for the quality Australian lentils that we produce. Personally speaking, I'd be encouraging much more production here in Pakistan because it's a wonderfully nutritious food, and when you do have nutrition issues and affordability issues, I would have thought it's a very important crop to get going in Pakistan.